Nashville's girls were in the quarterfinals 2 weeks ago. Now it's the boys' turn to shine. Teutopolis returns after losing in last year's quarterfinals. Can the Wooden Shoes stomp out the Hornets? Next on the IHSA TV network.
Down here in Peoria, we are celebrating the 100th state tournament for Illinois high school basketball. Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Cusack. I'm going to be here with you all weekend bringing you the action of these quarterfinal games. Today we're in the second one. Big matchup with Nashville and Teutopolis. Has one of the state's only undefeated Class A teams left. And bringing you the call of the game today, we've got Jim Albrecht alongside with Roger Lowe. You guys, take it from here.
Thanks a lot, Sarah. Can number one finish the run? If they can, they'll have to start with T-Town. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the 100th year of March Madness. I'm Jim Albrecht, along with Roger Lowe. It's undefeated Nashville against Teutopolis and their departing coach, Ken Crawford. Let's take a look at how these two teams work their way down to Peoria, starting with 33-0 Nashville. They beat Pinckneyville, of course, in the sectional final for the third time this year, and that could be an omen. The last time they beat Pinckneyville 3 times, 1978, when they won it all. Over on the other side of the ledger, St. Anthony was looming for T-Town, and it was a tight game in the sectional, but Teutopolis prevailed by 2, and that's why they are here. Of course, when we talk about Nashville, Roger, we talk about a kid named O'Rear, but when the opponents see him, they go, oh my.
Lucas O'Rear, first team All-Stater, going to Northern Iowa, has led the team in scoring 29 times. More importantly, led the team in rebounding 30.
For Ken Crawford, he relies on the kid out front, Mr. Rundy.
Jason Rundy only scored 7 points as a sophomore. He's over 1,000 for his career, so he's had his best basketball as a junior and senior.
Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your Chevy dealers, proud to support high school athletes and their families. Best of luck in the tournament from your winning team.
Nashville's going to have to get other people to basketball because I imagine T-Town will double down on O'Rear. Look for runouts. I think Nashville's going to try to get out and get some easy baskets, and Nashville's deeper than T-Town. They go 9 deep. I think they can wear them down.
And, of course, Nashville hasn't trailed after 3 quarters in 33 straight games, so it'll be key for Teutopolis to stay with them. Let's take a look at the keys for Teutopolis.
I think the other 4 people have to score, Jim. O'Rear can't hurt them. They have to have the other 4 beat them. Get the ball into the paint. I think that, again, T-Town's going to have Custer and Rundy be able to get inside the paint, and Casey the Sage is the Ken Crawford, one of the best coaches in our state, going against the Coach of the Year, however, this year in Darren Lee.
It's number 1 against number 5. It should be a dandy. Of course, Maroa Forsyth is already in. They'll play the winner of this game. Now let's go to our PA announcer, Mr. Herzog.
Good afternoon, basketball fans. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association of the City of Peoria, welcome to Carver Arena for America's original March Madness. In this our centennial year, this Class A quarterfinal game of 2007 features the Nashville Hornets, a record of 33-0. And the Teutopolis Wooden Shoes, a record of 30-2. Let's meet the teams for this quarterfinal contest. For Nashville, number 3, Brandon Reckman, a 6'1 senior. 6'3 senior guard, 5, Blaine Morris. 5'11 junior guard, 14, Nick Hari. 6'2 junior forward, 23, Jordan Sneed. 5'11 junior guard, 24, Ryan Spenner. 6'2 junior forward, 33, Michael Moeller. 6'4 junior forward, 34, Daniel Carson. A 6'1 senior forward, 35, Matt Connor. 6'4 senior forward, 41, Dylan York. And now the Wooden Shoes of Teutopolis. The 6-foot sophomore guard, now wearing number 30, Jeremy Shoemaker. 6'3" sophomore guard, number 14, Brian Haskerhern. 6'1" sophomore forward, 22, Mitch Bothwell. 6-foot sophomore guard, 32, Tony Zarusin. 6'3" junior forward, 40, Jacob Daters. And a 6'2" sophomore center, 42, John Rundy. And now let's meet our starting lineups. For Nashville, at a guard, a 6'3" senior, 10, Patrick Weathers. For Teutopolis, a 6'3" senior guard, 12, Wade Custer. At a guard for the Hornets, a 6-foot senior, 20, Matt Engley. At a guard for the Wooden Shoes, a 6'3" senior, 24, Jason Rundy. For Nashville, at a guard, a 6'4" junior, 21, Tommy Polchinski. For Teutopolis, a 6'3" senior forward, 34, Andy Tipton. For the Hornets, at forward, a 6'7" senior, 44, Lucas O'Rear. At a forward for the Wooden Shoes, a 6'4" senior, 52, Craig Westendorf. At center for Nashville, a 6'7" senior, 45, Ryan Keller. And at center for Teutopolis, a 6'6" senior, 54, Rich Borries. Coaching in his 18th season, 16 at Nashville, a record of 379 and 114, Darren Lee. Assistant coaches, Brad Weathers, CJ Cruiser, Kelly Cruiser, and Jason Guest. For Teutopolis, 26 years at the school, 30 years overall, his record for the Wooden Shoes, 610 wins and 149 loss. Ken Crawford. Assistant coaches, Andy Fehrenbacher, Rich Probst, and Jason Fleener. No other state in America can claim the rich history and the tradition that's been generated by March Madness in Illinois. It's America's original March Madness. Please direct your attention to the arena floor for the officials for this game. The referee from Bourbonnais, Joe Ewers. From Loda, Trent Eshelman. And from Danville, Paul Dalby. Presenting the game ball for this quarterfinal contest will be Wayne Metz, branch manager of Heritage Bank. Heritage Bank is one of the sponsors next door at the March Madness Experience. We thank Heritage Bank for their contribution to the greatest high school single event in the land.
Let's take a look. Rundy, Custer, Borries, Tipton, and Westendorf for Teutopolis, and of course Nashville with Engley, Weathers, O'Rear, Pelchinski, and Keller. There's a whole lot of wins out there, Roger Lowe. 63 wins walking out of the only 2 losses.
That's right, and T-Town has got something to prove after losing at Riverton, but the pressure's on Nashville. They've been number 1 for a lot of the year. A lot of people think all they can do down here is fail. Darren Lee has just done a wonderful job with this team, and I'm expecting a great game.
So Nashville will jump it up with O'Rear against Borries, and it's the Hornets with the first crack at the offensive end.
And you can take it to the bank, Jim. Both teams will be playing man-to-man, if not for 32 minutes, real close.
With the basketball, it's Matt Engley. He is a key player. They run deep, this Nashville team does, but the 2 keys are Engley and O'Rear. Engley runs the show, O'Rear dominates it. An ill-advised shot by Ryan Keller, and away comes Teutopolis.
If you saw that first possession, too, there are several players real close to O'Rear. Ken Crawford wants the other 4 players for Nashville to be the ones that hurt him.
With the ball out front, there was Borries. As they swing it around, you got to watch Westendorf because even though he looks like an inside man, he can bury the three. Westendorf, number 52, for the men in white. Up top, in and out. Not there as the ball comes away as Custer could not get it to fall. He'll try again. Better result.
T-Town was here last year. Custer played some serious minutes, so I think early in the game, T-Town may have an advantage.
Custer with his 54th tray of the year, and that'll be key here this afternoon.
Look at the attention that O'Rear's getting down there, Jim. 2 players within an arm's length of O'Rear every time he moves to the post.
They've played a lot of different defenses against the 6'7", 235-pounder, but none have worked in terms of posting an L on the Hornets. Ingley in the corner. Up top, they're trying to look down low, but nothing there. So what you got to do if you're Nashville is drain those threes. They have 4 players on this team with 30 or more trays. There he is. Across the lane he goes, but not to be. Shot is up and down, and there's the three we're looking for from Matt Ingley.
And he's a 38% three-point shooter, so he's one of the best that they've got. And a good start for Nashville to make someone else hurt you. Now, one other thing I want the spectators to watch, Custer and Rundy being able to penetrate this man-to-man. If Teutopolis can penetrate the man-to-man, T-Town's going to get several good looks at the basket.
Custer is driving, kissing glass.
Just like that. Those 2 guys are tremendous penetrators, 2 of the best in the state. I'm not sure Nashville's seen anybody quite as good as them in the area of penetration.
Well, Rundy and Custer average about 35 points a game between them, and they do it outside and inside. Keller wants it, doesn't get what he wants. Rebound comes out to T-Town. We'll be talking about Ken Crawford during the course of this game. Way outside is Custer now. Rebound down low, however, and to the free throw line goes Rich Parise, the 6'6", 230-pound senior.
Teutopolis has been out-rebounded 1 time all year long, Jim, and it was against Nashville, so I'm sure that Ken Crawford has talked to his kids about getting position both offensively and defensively.
Crawford, 26th year on the bench at Teutopolis. He's only averaged 23 wins a year. That's all.
He's won 20-plus games 21 times in his 26 years at T-Town. He's just a phenomenal coach. T-Town is better off because of a man like him.
So T-Town takes the lead early here, 7-3. And a little pressure in the backcourt.
I don't find that really too surprising. Nashville is coming in with a lot of pressure on the back. And like I said, T-Town played here last year. So I thought T-Town might get out to an early start.
Can O'Rear get free? He's number 44. He's got position underneath the glass, but the ball comes out long after the missed shot by the Hornets. Coolly and casually comes Custer up the court. And Andy Tipton won't shoot a lot.
And so far, Nashville just getting 1 look at it, and that was the one thing that T-Town had to do, was control the boards.
Patience this time by the number 5 ranked team does not result in a bucket as Tommy Pelczynski comes down with a rebound. A lot of seniors, 5 starting seniors on this Nashville team. This is their time. Here's the left-handed jumper by Weathers, no. And if you recognize that name Weathers from your Illinois basketball history, his dad is an assistant coach on this team as the ball heads out of bounds. T-Town with the early edge, 7-3. We're back after these network messages on the IHSA TV network.
We're here at the Peoria Civic Center, game 2 of the state quarterfinals as Teutopolis leads Nashville, takes an early lead in the first quarter, 7-3. Now, Jim Carey has done a lot for the number 23, but if you're a Hornets fan, then you better start thinking of the number 29. Back in 1949, this Nashville team went downstate, took 4th place. 1978, 29 years later, they took 1st. And then here we are, 2007, 29 years later. Guys, could it happen again?
Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it as we get back to action. History all over this place, all over this tournament. The Centennial Celebration, 100 years of March Madness. And an errant pass, but it's tipped out of bounds by Nashville. And let's go back to the rematch on February 10th between these 2 very teams, Roger. Nashville got out early, held off T-Town 57-43. O'Rear, who has not had a touch yet, had 20 points and 10 boards in that game. He's got to get some touches.
There's no question about it, but T-Town has followed the game plan to a T so far and keeping it away from him.
Almost down by Custer, but it comes off the right side of the rim, and you can see the athletic ability of O'Rear as he brings the ball up the floor. O'Rear headed to Northern Iowa on the full ride.
And you see Darren's already gone to his bench with Ruckman in there, number 3, Brandon Ruckman. They are a faster team, Jim, when he brings people in off the bench. Morris and Ruckman, the two people that I'm going to say right off the top of off my head are the quicker players if they come off the bench.
Ruckman averaging 7 points, and he'll put it up from 3. He's one of those 4 Hornet players who have had over 30 threes. Here's a long jumper by Rundy, nothing, but the putback is there by Boris, and that's just right place, right time.
That's a 7th rebound for Teutopolis against only 2 for Nashville, so again, an easy basket. Nashville not a very good job of boxing out there.
A game plan calling for smothering number 44. That's what Ken Crawford wants to do for Teutopolis. O'Rear's going to get his points. You just don't want him to damage it too much. There's O'Rear, but the ball is a little too high. The alley-oop pass just hit the rim, and so they come away empty again.
O'Rear's got as about as good a hands as I've seen a high school player in years, so if it's anywhere near, he's going to get his hands on it. That, as you said, was just too high.
T-Town trying to build on the lead. That one's way off the mark. Nice screen out there by Tommy Pelchinski. And in a hurry and slipping and firing is Pelchinski, but not going to be there. Good position by Craig Westendorf.
And we said for the 3rd time, 1 shot and done for Nashville. Again, the penetration by Rundy, the penetration by Custer are going to open up things for the other players. Nashville putting a lot of pressure on Custer, however.
If O'Rear doesn't get a touch in this first quarter, I may faint. Try to revive me. That'll be some defensive job considering there's only 3 on the board for Nashville through the first 6 minutes.
I don't think O'Rear's going to panic, though, because he did lead the team in assists also, Jim, so he knows that if they get him the ball, he can get it to somebody else.
Well, you take a look at what he did in the Super Sectional win. 29 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals. There's the tourney history with Teutopolis. Their 7th appearance. Of course, that man won a state championship in '86. 2nd place 7 years ago.
I would be uncomfortable.
Not falling for Custer.
Excuse me, Jim. I'd be uncomfortable if I was Darren Lee because Custer's had several good looks. He's been wide open on 2 or 3 occasions. You can't give him that much room.
There's a steal by Custer, who didn't let the errant shot get him down. How much patience do you want to take, Roger, if you are Teutopolis?
Well, again, I think the whole thing that they've got to do is go to where their bread and butter is, and that's getting the ball inside the paint by penetration. So I think Ken Crawford's teams are disciplined enough that they're going to wind that up until they get what they want.
As you see there, both of the stars for these teams led scoring in that rematch, or I should say the first game of the year, February the 10th. Both teams gone a little cold here. Well, actually, Nashville's never warmed up. They go low post. This is Boris. Hook shot is pretty.
Right over the All-Stater, too. And this kid was the last player on his junior high team, Boris. Just worked his tail off to get to the player he is and took it right up over the All-Stater.
Now you're starting to hear a little buzz through the crowd. Great house here at the Carver Arena at the Peoria Civic Center. This town rolls out the red carpet, and now people are going, ooh, number 1's in a little trouble, but there's a lot of time left. Out front is Reckman. He gives it up. Keller doesn't average a lot of points, number 45. The man with the ball now, but he'll kiss glass that time.
Nice job by Keller taking the ball to the basket, putting pressure on the Teutopolis defense to guard on the weak side away from O'Rear.
Let's see how head coach Ken Crawford wants to play for T-Town with time running down here after the first quarter. I don't blame him for taking the air out. He's got a 6-point lead. Why give the ball back?
And Darren wants to up the tempo a little bit because he does have a quick team in here, a faster team than T-Town. So if they could get a steal, a turnover, watch for the run out by Nashville.
This is no tomorrow day. You lose, you pack up the shoes. Will that be the case for the wooden shoes? Here we go. They've got the man they want with the basketball, Rundy. He's covered up, lost it. It goes over to Boris, who makes the 2, and that's the way the first quarter ends. A little bit of luck doesn't hurt. T-Town sending ripples through the Carver Arena, leading 13-5. We're back after these local messages.
Game 2 of the Class A state quarterfinals here in Peoria. Teutopolis leads Nashville 13-5. And guys, T-Town since 1958 has had only 2 head coaches. Lawrence Carey won 443 games in 23 seasons, and now Ken Crawford calling it quits after 26 seasons and 610 wins at Teutopolis. And his good buddy Dennis Kessner, who lost his life in a car accident this past fall, spent 25 years with the girls basketball team at T-Town, won 650 games. So the 2 combined for over 1,300 wins, and I'm guessing that's the most by 2 coaches at one school in IHSA history. Maybe only Dorothy Gators and Luther Bedford could rival Ken and Dennis, but they sure have put together quite a package here at Teutopolis.
Stories, and more stories. That's what Illinois basketball is all about. Neither team finding any result at their offensive ends, and now a pass is knocked out of bounds by hustling Blaine Morris, number 5, who's in the game. Let's check your stats after 1 quarter of play. Brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards.
Well, if Teutopolis 12 shots, 7 came from behind the 3-point arc. Custer had some real good looks, only made 1.
T-Town with only 2 losses, 1 to the team they're up against, and the other to St. Anthony of Effingham, 65-51, but they paid him back in the sectionals as the ball heads out of bounds and stays in the wooden shoes end of things.
Well, right now, Bories and Timpton are just outworking the inside players for Nashville. They're getting the loose balls, they're getting the balls that are hitting the floor, and Nashville's got to play with a little bit more urgency. I know it's early, but Teutopolis is not a team you want to play behind against.
Wide open, he can hit that, but not this time. Westendorf hit 5 of those in the super sectional game, 5 on 5 tries to power his team down to Peoria. And now we'll play a little catch and set up the offense. Blaine Morris in there wearing number 5. Reckman wearing number 3. Shot won't go down. I'll tell you what, right now, everything's falling into Ken Crawford's game plan. Make him hit from the outside, and they're not.
If the fans saw that, Bories was off his man. Tipton was guarding O'Rear. Tipton's just doing a tremendous job guarding O'Rear inside.
What a great defensive effort by O'Rear, but coming back on the other side is Bories. And I tell you what, T-Town right now just wanting it a little bit more.
That's 12 boards by T-Town in this ball game against 6 for Nashville. The other guys from Nashville are going to have to step up, Jim, because right now O'Rear's working too hard to get the ball. The other guys have to step it up.
When you're undefeated, Roger, and you're getting tested, question marks pop in your mind. This miss is by Reckman, and again, T-Town one and done.
I wouldn't be surprised also if Coach Lee is going to be using a timeout pretty soon, because right now, Nashville kind of standing around offensively. The easiest man to cover is the one standing still.
Remember, folks, the team in blue has rarely trailed all year at any point in any game, but now they're down by 10. We've got plenty of time left here. 5:30 and counting in the second quarter. Jim Albrecht and Roger Lowe on the IHSA television network. The original home of that thing called March Madness.
Watch the pressure Reckman, number 3, puts on Custer when he catches the ball. There's not even room for Custer to put the ball down in front of him. Right there, the man with the ball. Custer's got to get rid of it.
There's a hustling defensive play by Morris, but it stays in the wooden shoes hands.
And this is something that maybe you might want to look at if Nashville can start creating offense with some of their defense, because right now the offense for Nashville is doing a lot of standing, as we talked about. Weather's coming back in the ball game now to get another outside threat. You now have 4 outside shooters, 3-point shooters for Nashville. So if T-Town continues the defense that they've been playing, Nashville should have some open looks from the 3-point area.
Folks, 11 points in, or I should say 5 points in 11 minutes. Here's a jumper. No, a lot of iron, but O'Rear clears it away. And let's see if Nashville can get some mo going. They got to hit some outside shots. There's no doubt about that. Ingley goes left side. Weathers doesn't want it and makes a bad choice of passing. Again, you want to force it in at some point in time to O'Rear, because you know once he gets it inside he'll do damage, but so far they've been up front about it.
And right now my MVP for Teutopolis is Andy Tipton. Andy Tipton has guarded O'Rear. He has scored no points, but O'Rear has not either.
Now we got a whistle and we got a foul away from the basket underneath. It's going to go against Jason Rundy, the All-Stater. And we're going to take a break as T-Town holds a 10-point advantage. We're back in Peoria after these local messages. Of course, Class A basketball started in 1972, and there's been a whole lot of tightness, Roger Lowe.
Is this incredible? I mean, you talk about the National Football League with their parity, 65 games coming down to the final possession, and this is just the regional tournament. So 19 games went into overtime, as you see the graphic there. Wonderful parity in this league, in this state, and that's why it's the best basketball in the country.
That's why it's always impossible to say the 8 best teams in state are here. You can say the 8 surviving teams are here, that's for sure. And here comes Nashville walking the ball up is Matt Engling. He can score for you. He's got a game-high 17, but he hasn't done much today. O'Rear just getting smothered down there by Andy Tipton. And now they get it inside. This is what he does.
I noticed what Tipton was doing there. He's fronting him because once O'Rear catches the ball down there, it's over. So Tipton's going to front him. He's got to hope Westendorf or Bories is on the backside to help.
O'Rear averaging 19, gets his first 2. Westendorf turns, too much glass. The rebound comes down on the other side to Weathers.
And this is a big possession for Nashville now. A little momentum going their way with the ball into O'Rear. This is a big possession for them to score.
And Weathers thought better of it. Now he wants 3. Gets it! Patrick Weathers puts the mo on the Hornets side of things, as we now are as close as we've been for a while in the first half of this game, 15-10. You kind of sense they come back. They're not number 1 for nothing, Roger.
Oh, no question about it. And once again, it's the coach's son that comes in there and makes the big play.
And of course, quarterfinal game 3 coming your way tonight. Kurt Pegler and Cal Hubbard will bring you Brown County and a very tall Farmington team, and tonight we'll wrap it up to see how Chicago fares against Putnam County. Looking for something for your backyard that your entire family can enjoy? Visit sportcourt.com for the latest in backyard activities.
Now I'm going to tell you, if I'm Coach Crawford in this huddle right now, I'm going to try to get, again, penetration by my 2 guards. That's what got you the lead. You got Custer and you got Rundy penetrating the defense. If I'm Coach Lee on the other side, once again, you got to make sure they only get the 1 shot, 1 and done, because we're looking at the stat monitor here. 14 rebounds for T-Town to 8 for Nashville. Even more importantly to me, T-Town shot it 20 times, Nashville only 12. Comes back to
the Northern Iowa signee, Lucas O'Rear. He's built for an inside game because once he leans on you, he can kind of decide which way he wants to go. He can get that lower body against you. And there's a lower body to contend with, believe me. 15-10 is T-Town. Finds out if they can weather this little storm.
Let's look for penetration by T-Town.
Steal out front, and here goes O'Rear. Oh, my!
And that's that ball pressure we're talking about, Jim. You can't even put the ball in front of you. If T-Town's going to dribble the ball, they've got to turn their back and reverse pivot. A lot of pressure when that ball gets in the hands of Custer.
That's your center, stealing the ball out front and finishing.
Watch when Custer catches the ball now. There's no room for him to put the ball in front of him.
Custer, as you mentioned, he has to force things, but he will go to the free throw line. And sometimes if you're that smothered, Roger, you just have to try to create something. I mean, you don't want to make a mistake, but his defense.
And that's what he did there. He reverse pivoted, Jim, on that dribble. You can either cross over or reverse pivot. Those are the 2 types of dribbles, and that's the only dribble that he can use right now.
And of course, there's a trend in high school basketball as the free throw comes out that defense is ruling. Where are the points going? Last year's Class A tournament, the 3rd lowest scoring average per game, just under 50 points. Last year's Class AA tournament, the 3rd lowest scoring average per game, just over 51 points. So a lot of emphasis on defense in practice.
That breaks a 7-0 run, too, by Nashville. But once again, I think the momentum is on Nashville's side right now. T-Town has got to button down the hatches a little bit, get back to that good T-Town defense that they played for years and years under.
Court. And it's wise of Nashville just to wait. Again, they're trying to free the big man.
Yeah, fans, just watch what's going on with O'Rear down there. Just watch how many people from T-Town are around O'Rear every time he's in post.
And they make a bad pass.
T-Town has 2 guys within an arm's length of O'Rear every time he gets the ball in the low post area, Jim. And again, it's got to be the guys outside that start creating some baskets.
I call that the crowded subway car defense. Everybody just kind of chesting each other up as we approach the 2-minute mark, 2nd quarter.
That play right there is designed for pressure. You get the ball at the high post and try to run a backdoor play. Nashville's doing such a great job of denying the wings. T-Town runs a man up to the elbow, and you try to run a back cut.
Nashville didn't like the call, but they'll have to live with it. There's an inbounds pass. You don't want to give any team the ball in that close, but that's where Westendorf was. You should have seen the reaction of Darren Lee. He was upset about the interior pass.
And you know, Darren Lee can't understand how Westendorf can get open like that, but Westendorf is quicker than he looks. I'm telling you what, his first 2 steps are pretty quick for a man his size.
And he doesn't get the roll. The winner, of course, will play Maroa Forsyth. It could be number 1 against number 2 if Nashville can overcome T-Town.
Sure could be. Again, I want the fans, just your casual fan, to watch this possession down here now. How much the other guys are going to be open and how much O'Rear's being clogged up. O'Rear led the team in assists.
We are experiencing audio difficulties, and T-Town, let me correct myself, up by 1, although I think you should get 3 points for a full-length finish, but it's not in the rule books. Sorry for the audio difficulties, but we are back. Jim Albrecht along with Roger Lowe as things have considerably tightened up. It was 15-5 T-Town. Now it's 17-6. They have outscored T-Town 11-2.
I don't think T-Town's looking for one shot either, Jim. I think they're looking for a good shot, and there is a good one by Custer.
It sure is. Wade Custer for 3.
You can't give him that much room. If he's got time to set his feet, he's a tremendous shooter.
He has over 50 threes on the season, so he can live out there, and now we'll see how Nashville wants to control things here in the final minute. Actually, the final precious seconds, trailing by 4. I don't think they'll be able to find O'Rear, but let's see if I'm right. Well, they do find the big man on the other side. O'Rear finds the rebound. And that's the way the first half comes to a close. A Keller miss, and O'Rear follow, and we're going to have a great second half coming up. Teutopolis got out in front early, controlled the tempo, controlled the big man, but Roger, as you assumed, things would turn a little bit. Let's see what Mr. Crawford has to say with Sarah.
Coach, you held a Lucas O'Rear scoreless until the last 4 minutes of that quarter. What was the difference in those 4 minutes?
Well, they went small on us, and we had to guard the three-point line a little bit better, and they knocked down a couple threes, and we didn't rotate quite as well. We've got to go back to rotating the way we were earlier. Lucas has gotten a lot more active, but the big thing is we've made some careless passes at the top, and that gave him 4 points, a couple of dunks. We have to beat our passes and watch our passing a little better. They picked up the pressure. We've got to start doing our back cuts, spread them out a little bit more.
Coach, you jump out to a quick start. How much of the experience from being down here last year has been attributed to that?
Well, I don't know how much. I think it all comes to game preparation. We came in prepared. We weren't just happy to be here. We want to win this game.
Sounds good. Good luck the second half, Coach.
Back with the halftime show after these network messages on the IHSA TV network.
And welcome to our Chevy Performance Studio, brought to us by Chevrolet. Lee Hall and Cliff Cameron at the March Madness Experience, and it's Teutopolis with the halftime lead here over Nashville, #1 ranked. These two teams, Cliff, played a couple of weeks ago. You saw that game, and obviously Ken Crawford and Teutopolis have figured out some way to kind of offset whatever happened in that 14-point loss. They've been getting the ball inside pretty well, at least early on.
Yes, you knew that Coach Ken Crawford, as we know, was in his last year of a very successful run there at Teutopolis, would have his team prepared to play today in the state tournament. They faced the Nashville team February 10th at the Riverton Shootout, and they ended up with a 57-43 victory that day. And so today's, they have a good game plan. I'm very surprised. I think the key is today is the defensive effort that they're putting, especially on our rear end side. Yep. The number 34 for Nashville, I had his name here, did an awful good job on him early, and then towards the end of the half, they had Bories on him. We were totally fronting him and denying the ball, and so that was the key. Also, good ball pressure. So T-Town's defense, and plus the fact when Rear did get his first basket, I think when it was 15 to 5 with about 3:30 to go, they went on a 7-0 run and then made a little comeback. So if they can get the ball somehow into a rear, it's going to make a difference from the second half.
And I also thought offensively they went right at O'Rear at the other end of the floor. As we take a look at the first half stats, neither team shooting it all that well, about 33% for Teutopolis. No free throws for Nashville in that first half.
Right, that's a key. I mean, I think if they get it into O'Rear, they're going to have to he's going to have to go to the hole, maybe draw some fouls, or if they double team on him when Keller's in there, number 45, if they can dish off to him. If he can do something inside, that's going to be helpful too. On the other end, I think that Teutopolis did a good job going inside. Bories did a real good job playing hard, hitting the boards, and taking care of the ball down low.
Early in that second quarter, it was 10-2 in the paint in favor of Teutopolis.
Right, you wouldn't expect that. With O'Rear is probably one, All-Stater, first-team All-Stater, is probably one of the most dominating players in the state, and so and T-Town probably one of the best defensive teams in the state today.
All right, that's going to do it for now from our Chevy Performance Studio, brought to us by Chevrolet. We'll be back after these local messages. This legend, Coach Pleasant Plains, the 2 Class A state championships in just 3 years, winning in 2000 and again in 2002. He is Cliff Cameron, IHSA legend. Boy, that's got to be a good feeling to hear that.
Yes, it's almost hard to believe that you're mentioned as a legend, especially with all the other names you see on that legend list. It's an honor and a privilege just to be recognized with them.
2 championships, 2000 and 2002. We remember talking to you a lot those weekends. Oh, yes. What do you remember about those 2 seasons, those 2 trips to Peoria?
Oh, you remember quite a bit. The first year, just the experience of being here is just a thrill. I remember walking through the area when you come in, the fans just cheering you on, and you get those goosebumps, that feeling inside, and just going on through the whole experience, and then finally the championship game when you realize, hey, we're going to win this. It's just almost hard to believe that it can happen. So it was a great thrill.
Another one of your players, I should say, Dusty Bensko, named a legend too. Tell us about him.
Yes, deservingly so. I see him in line next to be on here with you, and I was honored as a legend, and of course a coach without players can't be a legend. Right. So you have to have good players, and he was an exceptional player. He's an all-time leading scorer in school with 2,489 points. Best free throw percentage. I remember the Riverton game, triple overtime game. We won in 2000 against Riverton, and he was 17 for 17 right from the line that game. So, without him, I wouldn't be a legend, I'm sure, and he would tell you without his teammates, he wouldn't be a legend either. So, to be a legend, you have to have a lot of people around you that are pretty good too.
Tell me what this tournament, this weekend, means to you. I mean, Class A weekend just got its own kind of special flair, its own special charm, I think.
Oh yeah, it's special. It's very special. Just I try to come down here every year. It's better when you can play, but still, it's nice to be up here to see the teams play, and just this experience right here, this building that they have here, I think is very neat for the young kids and the older ones too, to see all the activities they have here and all the memories you have from pictures. So it's very special, especially when you've been able to play in it and win it a couple times. And I hope it doesn't, going to 4 classes doesn't take too much away from it, but that's a change they're making.
IHSA legend Cliff Cameron, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Here I read a little intro.
Let's see how Nashville coach Darren Lee felt about the 2-point deficit. Sarah?
Well, guys, I caught up with Coach Lee, and they said they've got to do what they can to get O'Rear more touches. But T-Town's done a great job on him defensively. But it's the Nashville defense that has kept them in the game, holding T-Town to 33% from the field. They need to get more runouts, move the ball, and just keep doing what they've been doing all year long.
Try to get it to O'Rear. Thank you, Sarah, but not there that time again. Great defense, front and back.
Boris wasn't even looking at Keller. Boris was looking at O'Rear at that time. So Keller's got to be a guy that can just step up and shoot it. The other lineup besides Nashville are 3 for 12 in the first half, Jim.
Running with it is Custer, and he will be fouled. We have the same starting 5 for both teams. Teutopolis with the basketball in the white. Jason Rundy, the All-Stater, number 24. Wade Custer, his running mate. Rich Borries in the center. Andy Tipton and Craig Westendorf round out the top 5 for Coach Crawford. We'll get you updated on the other 5 as they come down the floor in a hurry.
And that's good news for T-Town, even though they missed that shot, because there was penetration by Rundy.
Here we go again, and there is some contact, and O'Rear says, hey, where is the call? But he doesn't get it. You can see both these schools not all that far apart. Love that Southern basketball cooking in the state of Illinois.
There was no foul there, I don't think. Tipton did a great job of getting around him right time. O'Rear did a nice job of trying to hold him off, but once again, Andy Tipton's my MVP for Teutopolis in the first half.
No harm, no foul, according to the Zebras. Jump pass. And now we've got another whistle, and this one will be on the Wooden Shoes. The tale of two cities looks like this. Nashville, of course, has the bigger population, but enrollment-wise, not all that far apart. Both representing their conferences quite well here in the Elite Eight.
The one thing I saw in that last possession by Nashville, they had emptied out the weak side. So if you empty out the weak side, it opens up the lob for O'Rear.
Angley, who averages 8 points a game, still trying to get untracked offensively.
Emptying out the weak side, Jim, just means all the other players are on the same side as O'Rear is, and so they can throw over the top, and there'll be no backside help because there's no Nashville player on that other side.
It's still a 2-point edge for the boys in white.
Well, Nashville's done a great job taking Custer's penetration away in the first half.
That's the shot they want, but it won't fall. Westendorf fighting for the rebound. It heads out of bounds. Actually, it was Borries, and they say Borries was managing to get it off of O'Rear's hand last, so it'll stay in the offensive court for the Wooden Shoes.
T-Town's inside guys have just outworked Nashville's guys underneath the glass on both ends.
Look at all those second chance points in the first half.
We talk 9-2, and that's just all. It's all heart and desire. There's not one rebound that got taken above the level of the rim.
And remember, Nashville gets an average of 19 points a game from its bench. First half, 0. Custer and Rundy. These are the guys who set it all up for the Wooden Shoes. Like, whoa, they had the perfect cut, but it got away, and now it's out of bounds. Bodies slamming on the hardwood, and it stays in Teutopolis' possession.
Once again, that's that high post up pass, and then you try to run the wing for a backside cut. You only run that against pressure, and obviously that's what Nashville's doing a great job of.
As we said earlier on from that graphic, you can see that Nashville, they have a cruise control usually in the second half because they have such a spread. But there's plenty of pressure in a state tournament, and they're starting to feel that right now. We played 2 minutes in the third quarter. Nobody's found the net. Westendorf says, I want to, but it's short. Good defense. Popping out on them was Ryan Keller, I think, to alter the shot a little bit.
Keller's going to be a big factor too, Jim. He's going to have to get some points inside. Look how far they're laying off of him. They're giving him anything he wants from 12 feet in.
Up top, it's Reckman, and suddenly the Hornets own the lead, 21-20.
I'm not so sure that Nashville's at least as good a team when they bring the reserves in, if not a better team. They're just faster. Their three-point shooting is just as good. And Darren can play 7 for sure and maybe 9, and that's T-Town's just a 5-man team right now.
That's a bad omen. The 3 on one side, the travel on your next trip down. Now Nashville will have a chance to open things up a little bit. You get a good look there at Ken Crawford, classy guy. And don't think he's done coaching. He may be leaving Teutopolis, but he'll be looking for another gig somewhere. He's just retiring from the school as a teacher.
A lot of guys coming in right now. I wouldn't be surprised they wouldn't play very long. We got a timeout coming in about 30 seconds, but Darren's getting some guys in there. Reckman for one. York, who was a starter last year, getting his first playing time.
And Blaine Morris also into the ball game, wearing number 5 for the young men in blue. Always interesting to see an undefeated team. Only 5 teams have finished the season undefeated in Class A. Seneca, one of them last year. Will we have number 6 this weekend? This game will maybe determine that very question. A steal out front, nicely done by Custer, who forces things, drops it, goes to the glass, and doesn't get it. But there's a rebound, and we've got a foul on the other side as Custer and Rundy were playing a little catch off the glass.
T-Town's been known for years and years, Jim, as just one of the most outstandingly coached defensive teams, and right there, just a perfect example of how well coached Ken Crawford's teams are.
There's that timeout you called for. With 4:53 remaining here in the third quarter, Nashville has taken the lead. T-Town has not scored in the third quarter. Back after these local messages.
Here at the Peoria Civic Center in the third quarter, as Nashville leads Teutopolis 21-20. Now, T-Town up early in this game, and guys, I think they need a little bit of energy from all of you to get them going.
I think so. We came out red hot, and you know, I went down there at halftime, and we just had no firepower left. So I think that me and Darren are the key to the game right now.
Now, I hear you didn't have a pep rally because when you do, you lose. But you guys, do you dress up like this for every game?
We try to, yeah. We dress up a lot.
Well, good. Well, they've got the crowd behind them, so we'll see what happens in the second half. Back to you guys.
Well, Sarah's having a good hair day. Those two guys are definitely not. Driving and drawing the foul is T-Town, and that should result in a trip to the free throw line for Andy Tipton, the defensive player of the game so far. Of course, he's getting help from his teammates, but he was shutting down O'Rear in the first half before that last 4-minute landslide of points by the big man.
He's been the unsung hero in the game, as you alluded to, Jim. And once again, we talked about this, that T-Town's ability to penetrate may be the difference in them winning this game or not.
And of course, free throws are so big at any level, but once you get down to state, here's a team shooting 70% on the year, and they'll need to keep that up and maybe improve on it this afternoon.
That's right, and Nashville's 4 other players besides O'Rear, and I'm mainly talking about Keller when he's in the ball game is going to have to step up, and this is where Nashville caught back up in the first half when he went to this lineup right here with 4 perimeter players with O'Rear inside.
Dylan York, you saw him checking out. He had a couple of minutes on the floor there. As the Hornets now come down trailing once again.
When you play 4 players like this, you have to space your defense out a little bit farther than you do when you have 2 inside players.
Ingley has yet to find the mark. That's helping the T-Town cause.
When Keller's inside, Boris can help out on O'Rear, and when you've got 4 guys in the perimeter, Boris has to go out and cover the perimeter because Nashville can score from out there. Good moves, excuse me, Jim. Good moves by Coach Lee. I mean, he's not Coach of the Year for nothing, and he's done a great job in getting his kids back in the ball game.
I was about to say, Ingley has nailed 44 from beyond the arc, but nothing today out there. Tipton and the rest of the group just kind of moving the ball around the perimeter right now, trying to get Custer open. Voorhees is going to force things, but there's nothing there, and now it's headed out of bounds, and let's see. Turnover.
No, they called
No, they did get the timeout. Well, Darren Lee can't believe it, but they did get the tee.
And I'm sure the ref's going to come over and explain it to him here in a minute.
Well, Darren Lee's going to want to know. I can tell you that right now. You see T-Town taking a blow over there, getting some H2O and ready to see if they can just stay close. That's really all you want to do is be in the fourth quarter with this team because Nashville has not trailed in the fourth quarter all year long. Closed captioning provided by Caption Associates, LLC. And there you see the website.
One thing now, T-Town only has 1 more timeout that they can call on their own. I know they have TV timeouts come up, but they've only got 1 more left, and that could be critical as this game goes on.
We want to remind folks in Rockford, if you're viewing tonight's quarterfinal games, we start at 6:30, only will be seen on Insight Cable Channel 57. That is tonight in Rockford. All of Saturday's games will be on WTVO DT16. Peoria viewers, tonight's quarterfinal game 4 will be seen only on Insight. That's Peoria Channel 17, Bloomington Normal, that's Channel 5. All of Saturday's games in Peoria will be on WAOE TV.
An amazing statistic that I'm looking at right now, T-Town is shooting 28% from the floor and still has a 1-point lead against the number 1 ranked team in the state. All goes back to the second chance points. 11 of their 22 are on putbacks.
We keep talking about how much more emphasis on defense coaches are putting on things, and that's great because obviously they're getting good results with the low points, but what about working on the offense? Maybe there'll be a shift someday. Right now it's all swinging towards the defensive pendulum. Trying to free somebody up outside. Who's that somebody going to be? Down low, Westendorf. He turns. There's an easy, well, there's indecision because Boris had an easy 10-foot jumper, but that's really not his shot, so he thought about driving and it cost him.
Yeah, he knows it, and you know what he's going to do now is work real hard to try to get the ball back on the other end. Just that little hesitation, as you said, cost him the possession. We've got a real mismatch out here right now, too, with Westendorf trying to cover Morris. I think Morris could probably free himself for some threes.
Only been 5 points scored in 5 minutes from both sides.
Right now, T-Town in the zone, Jim. They've gone out their man.
No.
They're in a 2-3 zone for the first time all game.
Ooh, the follow was there by Blaine Morris, but rolled out.
So we need to watch that. We need to see if Coach Crawford's going to stay in that the next time down. You won't see it very often.
Here's Boris, and he is fouled from behind by O'Rear.
And you know, O'Rear was angry at the last possession. Something happened underneath the basket where he lost his temper, and I think it carried to that end as well.
Well, again, you're looking at a team here, Nashville, who, as we said, has not been tested late in games, and when things get a little tighter, I'm sure O'Rear wants that ball in his palms. And here's a nice drive, hanging, and he'll go to the free throw line, Wade Custer.
You can slice it any way you want. There's more pressure on Nashville today than there is on Teutopolis, whether it's fair or not. Nashville #1 and has already beaten them, and so T-Town can play a little bit freer, and Nashville, I think, has a little bit more of a target on their back.
Nashville, of course, a long drought between state championships. They won one back in '78 with head coach Bob Bogle beating Havana in the championship game 54-38. They were 30-3 this year. If Nashville wins today, they will have beaten the school record for most wins in a season. Right now they're tied 33, and that was back in 1948-49. So, well, I'm sure the record is secondary to that scoreboard up there as Custer sinks both and gives his team a 3-point lead.
One thing I've noticed, too, about Custer, he has his left leg in a bandage there, and it's taking a little bit of that first step away from him. He's a little bit quicker than he's showing tonight. And T-Town staying in the zone. They may be manning up on O'Rear. I have to watch it a little more carefully.
Again, it won't go down for Ingley. Had nice form and nice touch, just not there.
It could be a box and one. We're going to see the next possession. Boris was pretty close to O'Rear the entire time. So it's either a straight 2-3 or box and one.
Here's the big man Custer, and no, I should say that was Westendorf, and O'Rear comes out of there with it, running the floor, spotting a teammate, up and not there. O'Rear's there, though, and that's two.
That's where he's so good, too, in the open court. He sees the court so well, and has great hands and a nice putback. He is 6 for 6 on the floor in this game.
And running the floor. Here's an iffy pass. Boris goes in and nails it.
And that's 5 for 6 from Boris, so this is unexpected points when you get 12 points from him.
You never know who's going to show up at these games, do you, Roger? Sometimes you look at the all-stater and his 20-point average, and of course then the D comes to get in his face, and somebody has to step up. Boris, one of those guys. Long jumper, Reckman. Reckman has hit some key threes and call it even at 26.
And that's a recipe Darren Lead has to have, is those guys stepping out there and having the confidence to hit that shot. Obviously O'Rear is their first choice, but those guys have got to have the confidence to step up and hit that.
36% from beyond the arc for Nashville.
Nashville's kept T-Town out of the lane and penetration in this half. A great job by Coach Lee.
Tipton, does he want to go there? He does not want to go there because good defense was waiting for him in the form of O'Rear. He had to come down with it, and that's a trap.
No, O'Rear never even lifted his hands, but his presence was there, and it caused Tipton to travel. Keller back in the ball game now, so you might see T-Town go back to a straight man-to-man. They can help more on O'Rear in this setting.
Ingley checks out. Blaine Morris, the senior, also checking out.
And it's man-to-man. They're back to man-to-man now with Morris in the game, or Keller in the game, excuse me.
Down to the final minute of the third quarter. Now we've got a whistle and a foul on Teutopolis. And again, we mentioned the bench, and you keep mentioning these fresh bodies running in and out. You don't see that from Teutopolis, so that may play in the fourth quarter, Roger.
Especially with only one timeout left, too, so Ken can't use the timeout for a fatigue factor.
Down low and leaning into it was Reckman, but not buying it, but he will go to the free throw line with a chance to put his teammates back on top.
I'll tell you what, too, there's no secret to how that play worked either. Reckman just made a real hard cut, and Rundy was not able there to answer the quickness of that cut by Reckman. A nice job by him.
Blaine Morris getting set to check right back in. Of course, so we talk about all the success of Ken Crawford. You can't ignore, and there's Ken right there, you can't ignore his counterpart today. 16 years at Nashville and a whole lot.
Now, Rear will not be on the bench long. He's 48.3 seconds. They're going to rest him, I'm sure, until the end of the quarter, and then Coach Lee will get him back in.
379 wins for Darren Lee, and now he's thinking W again as Nashville takes the lead. And let's see how T-Town wants to play. They're going to be patient.
They won't play for one. I'll tell you what, if they get a good shot, they will shoot it.
Oh, a steal out front. Here comes Blaine Morris. Count him up.
And we talked about in the pregame, Nashville had to get runouts, and that's one of the very few that they've had in this ball game.
Nashville's biggest lead of the game is 4.
Now you'll play for 1.
That's the instruction from Jason Rundy.
And I would be shocked if Rundy does not take the shot, Jim.
Morris read the pass, finished the deal.
But look at Reckman guarding him. It's like it's unbelievable how close he is.
So it's going to be Custer with the solo job off the glass. Yes!
And he could barely move off that left knee. A great job by Custer.
Oh, man. And we've got a fourth quarter set up for you, folks. Don't go away. Undefeated Nashville, but only by 2. Back after these local messages.
Back in Peoria in the second game of our Class A state quarterfinals. Nashville leads Teutopolis 30-28, and it's been 100 years that we're celebrating these boys state tournaments. Roger Lowe, lucky enough to have him along with us, one of the best minds of Class A basketball. Got a question for you. 100 seasons ago, what was Nashville's record? And I'm going to give it to you. 0-2. Followed with an 0-1 season the next year, which I would imagine might be a record that could run any coach out of town.
High school basketball. She's got a lot to learn, but that was a good question. I didn't know that.
Well, you know, it's not bad if you say you're on a 2-game losing streak, but it's bad if you say you haven't won all season and there's only 2.
Yeah, there are only 2 games under 500. That's not many times that I get to say that.
Yeah, obviously Sarah doesn't know your mind quite as well as I do.
Now, Bories, as we said, has just been a huge plus for T-Town. That's his 13th point. Custer and Bories have 26 of the 29 T-Town points. So a great job of defense by Coach Lee.
Look at that rotation. Just a perfect free throw, under clutch situation, and suddenly ties are the rage of the afternoon here as these two teams go back and forth. Whistles. Let's take a look at the numbers very quick, Roger. Brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards.
I'm just fascinated that T-Town can be shooting what they are, 32%, and still be in this ball game. 2 for 11 is a big factor, and as you're saying, Nashville shooting 50% from 3. And there, as we talked about earlier, Custer with 13. I think Bories has 14 right now of their 30. So only 3 points scored. Tipton has 2, and Westendorf with 1.
Their all-stater Jason Rundy, scoreless, playing tough D, but his team is still tied. He could care less if he can walk out of here with some chances to play tomorrow. Here's a drive by O'Rear, forcing things, and Andy Tipton will be called for the foul.
And you know, that point you made is a great point, Jim, but I hadn't even, I don't even think that's really much of a factor, to be honest with you. Rundy has just done so many other things. Being scoreless is huge, and I agree with you, but he's done so many other things to keep T-Town in this ball game.
Here's the man headed to Northern Iowa.
Now, he's had a good ball game, 6 for 6 from the floor, 1 for 1 from the line, 7 rebounds.
He's just solid all over, and he can kick the ball out and get those three-pointers raining.
I'd like to have the fans watch his footwork, too. I mean, he has just been so well-schooled with footwork, and we've talked about his hands very often, tremendous set of hands.
And at 235 pounds, you don't think of nimble footwork all the time, but he has it. Here's Boris again. O'Rear said not this time. Tough bounce pass. Stole away. On the break comes Reckman. Can he catch up with it? No, he cannot, as he stepped on the end line.
I don't think Coach Lee can be too upset about that either, because that's what they need to do. That's what's called the run out, where you try to get behind the defense on a fast break. Good try by Nashville.
Remember, Nashville did lead going into the fourth quarter, so their record for leading in 34 straight games is intact. However, they had never been as close as 5 to anybody, always having a spread, but they start this fourth quarter only up by 2, and they're back to that thanks to the O'Rear charity tosses.
One thing that's fun for me to watch, too, is how hard Teutopolis makes cuts. If the fans can watch that, when they make their pass, they make real hard cuts. And when you make hard cuts, you get your legs into your shot because you've already got your legs moving quickly.
There's some legs, but not enough as the shot comes out for Custer.
He had a good look.
That's what they wanted. Now you get down to every trip is important. Who plays 2 tomorrow? Who says coulda, shoulda, woulda?
Once again, this is a harder team to cover for T-Town with the 4 perimeter players in the rear. They just spread out T-Town too much right now.
Reckman, not this time. Strong rebound, Boris.
That's 8 rebounds for Boris. He was, as we talked about, the last player in his junior high team. Didn't even get off the bench in a lot of games, and now playing a huge role in this quarterfinal game.
Custer nails it. Just stepped inside the three-point line. That last misfire did not deter him from trying again.
T-Town will gladly give up perimeter shooting by Nashville to keep it away from O'Rear, because if he catches it in low, it's 2 points or 2 free throws.
Lots of ties.
Watch Tipton and Boris. One front and one playing behind.
Reckman goes inside to O'Rear, and Boris, the man playing behind, as Roger mentioned, will be called for the foul.
Tipton was asking for a push-off, too, by O'Rear. I think O'Rear just did a real nice job of getting himself in there and holding the post.
That is 5 team fouls now on T-Town. Nashville with 6 team fouls. Out comes Reckman, as you see, walking past his head coach, Darren Lee. And so inbounding and jump shooting and nailing, it's Mr. Ingley, and boy, did he need that one.
I'll tell you, he makes them go. I've watched them for the second time, and I really think Ingley's the guy that's the catalyst of this basketball team.
Well, he's had near 80 assists this year, leaning in with a very tough leaner, but Westendorf gets it blocked, goes back up, and O'Rear said, I don't think so. Rejection notice stamped. Man.
Well, rebounding again. They're going to get a second chance at this thing. So the block out of bounds really didn't do a whole lot of good other than get T-Town the ball back.
I would have to say Mr. Crawford was not happy with the call or lack of a call. He thought there was body down there on the low post, but not to be, as Nashville falls back on defense again, leading by 2.
Well, as a casual observer, I think these officials have just done an outstanding game and a pressure cooker.
Custer leading and tying the game at 34.
His 17th, 17 points for Custer. He's picked up the slack for his buddy Jason Rundy.
Suffice it to say, he doesn't want it to be Custer's last stand. He's a senior. He doesn't want to be going home after today. Tied at 34s in a classic quarterfinal game from Peoria.
And I don't think Coach Crawford minds at all where O'Rear's standing. He doesn't like it when he gets down those red blocks.
Ingley couldn't shake free, so we'll go back around. Pelchinski just distributes, doesn't shoot very often.
Look how far Boris is off Keller, Jim.
Oh, they'll give him that shot all day. That's just not what he does. Although he's a great golfer, he can make some difficult shots in that particular venue, but not out here.
They're not going to guard him out there. No way.
Uh-oh, he wants to make the move. He's going to go through 4 players, and this time O'Rear has to recock the trigger. Hanging, no. Look at Boris again.
That was all one-on-one stuff there. I don't think Coach Lee can be happy with that. Nashville does a good job of getting O'Rear the ball if he's just patient. Let the ball get swung around a little bit.
I know what O'Rear's thinking. He wants a state championship. I know what he's thinking. Here we go out front, and a foul is going to be called on Patrick Weathers.
And I think T-Town now will go on the line. I believe that's the 7th foul for Nashville.
That is correct.
And it's going to be real important here for Kester. 77% free throw shooter on the season, the leader on this ball club.
Only 5 Class A schools since they started playing Class A in 72 have been undefeated. Seneca last year, of course. And then you look at those great Lawrenceville teams with Ron Felling. He had 2 of those.
And Darren Lee played on an undefeated team from McLeansboro in '84, coached by his dad. So he would be the only coach or player to play on an undefeated team as a player and coach.
That's right. David Lee, of course, his dad. And then, of course, Teutopolis, the other undefeated one, with the very coach on the very same bench, Ken Crawford. Big free throw misses that time. O'Rear forcing things over on the wing, but it's batted out of bounds. And we've got an official's timeout. Don't go away. There's 3:17 left, and nobody's got the edge in the second quarterfinal game of the day between T-Town and Nashville. Back after these local messages. Game scheduled tonight, of course. We still have some quarterfinal games to go, but tomorrow's semifinal game coming to you along the IHSA TV network starting at 11. Maroa Forsyth is already in. They'll be here at 11. Will it be T-Town or will it be Nashville? Some high performances on the court today, Roger. And if you need a high-performance athletic court for your school, church, or rec center, visit sportcourt.com for the latest in high-performance courts. I think you like the defensive performance today, don't you?
Well, as a coach, that was the thing that I thought was the key to victory in most games was defense. And I haven't said enough what a great job of defense both teams have played today with only 8 turnovers on each ball club. So Coach Lee and Coach Crawford's kids are playing defense, which is not a surprise with these two guys. But it's been a tremendous defensive battle. Each shot's been contested. It's been hard every time down on the offensive end for both teams.
O'Rear's got the ball about 12 feet away and says, I don't like my position. Give it to me here. There's the drive. There is the miss. The tip is no good. And rebounding is T-Town with Voorhees again. Well, and O'Rear was so close, but not.
Nashville couldn't have got a better look than that. They got the ball inside, did a great job of running the offense. O'Rear had a point-blank shot, missed it, did a nice job of trying to tip it. And now we go to the line here. Voorhees is going to go to the line, 4 for 4 from the line in this ball game.
Keller picked up his second personal, and Voorhees is the man of the moment with his team needing some charity tosses.
As you said, they missed the front end of the bonus on the last possession.
Not this time. 35-34.
What a game. What a game by
man.
Voorhees. 15 points, 11 boards. Done a great job of coming off Keller. And as you see, Keller coming out of the ball game right now. So I've said this many times, but it's worth repeating. This is a harder team to cover for T-Town with this lineup in.
Patrick Weathers back in the ball game for Nashville, and it's a 2-point edge. Oh, those free throws are going to be big in the final 250.
I tell you what, I would make the 4 other guys hurt me. If I'm T-Town, make somebody else hurt me besides the rear.
This place is buzzing. The fans from both teams are on their feet and holding their breath at the same time.
Zone
Nashville
defense.
Undefeated.
Zone defense by T-Town, 2-3.
Reckman gets it into O'Rear, and that's what you got to do. Tipton didn't want to give him the freebie, so he fouled him and sent him to the free throw line.
I don't think it's a combination zone. The more I look at it, it looks like more just a straight 2-3. Makes it harder to get it inside. And as you can see, Tipton just a half a step slow getting around there.
At this point, you don't want either of these teams to lose because they both worked so hard as O'Rear gets too much iron. So unless there's an offensive rebound, T-Town's going to own the lead, either 1 or 2 on the way down.
I guarantee you this one goes in. He's too good and too strong not to make one end of it.
Up, you missed them both. Westendorf, that is a rarity.
Well, I'll tell you what, he'll get it back on this end. He's your all-stater. He's the guy they've been leaning on all year.
In a hurry is Custer in the middle, gets it stripped, and we've got a foul, and I think T-Town's going to get the benefit of a foul against Nashville. They were very fortunate on that one.
Yeah, I tell you what, Pelczynski did a great job of defense on that play. Tremendous job. Now there's the Sage we talked about in the pre-rep. And let's watch this play again. Pelczynski gets an awful lot of basketball, but they called a foul.
Yeah, that was a very close call, but it went T-Town's way. We are back after these network messages. Don't go away. It's time for your Chevy Drive of the Game. Your Chevy dealers proud to support high school athletics and their families. Best of luck in the tournament from your winning Chevy team. Down the other way was Blaine Morris.
The run out by Morris. He's long, he's athletic, and he's a slasher, so you kind of expect that right there.
Well, how big are these, Roger? Nope, that's not going to be there. Missed the 1-and-1.
I'm looking for guys like Reckman, number 3, and Engley, number 20, to step up.
Voorhees couldn't get the free throw. Let's see if Nashville sends us into another tie. It could be a 3. It's in and out. And a foul underneath. And it goes against Westendorf on the push of O'Rear.
But Reckman was not afraid to take that shot. So a great look by Coach Lee's team. There's the shot. Perfect form. But you see Westendorf raking him out with that big left arm of his.
And you can't blame Westendorf. He knows his job. Keep the beast off the boards. There's Ken Crawford. Are we going to be tied? He missed 2 last time. Oh my goodness, he missed another one.
All 3 long too, Jim. All 3 of them hit the back rim.
And we're down to 2 minutes.
Rundy not scoring and you're still ahead. That's amazing.
Nashville 33-0. Never has trailed at this juncture all season, and a foul out front as Rundy takes over.
We're going to see a replay of this play. Again, we talked about getting it inside the teeth of the defense, and that's what makes the T-Town offense go. Rundy now shooting 77% for the year, has a critical 2 shots.
Reckman drew the foul. Rundy 77% from the stripe. It is on its way.
If I'd have told you, Jim, before the game that Rundy gets his first point with less than 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and T-Town shooting 33% and be ahead, would you believe it?
I would have questioned your basketball mind, Roger.
Yes, well, many people do.
4-point lead for Teutopolis.
Right now, you got to go to the big fella. You can't let the ball get out of his hands for very long.
Plenty of time. O'Rear wants to take over. They could use a 3 here, but they don't need it.
The interior defense on O'Rear has just been amazing all day long. What a game plan by Coach Crawford.
Inside, Pelchinski got 3, and it's back to 2. Well, Tommy Pelchinski, who averages just over 6 a game, comes up big in the final 90 seconds. Again, forcing things. Oh, almost down, and a charge on Rundy. Whoa.
Wow.
Big call.
That's a huge call. You got your 2 All-Staters going at each other, and O'Rear got the benefit of the call. We'll see it on replay again.
He was trying to lean away from him.
Well, I tell you, that's the hardest call in basketball. The officials have done a tremendous job today, in my estimation. It could have gone either way. If it would have been called the other way, you would have bet Coach Lee would have been upset. So,
on this end, both Tipton and Boris, they will be the Gorilla Glue all over O'Rear.
Pelchinski was confident enough to take it into the hole the last time. Again, O'Rear has to be the #1 option.
Open for the lead is Engley. No, rebound fought for it. Jump ball.
But you know,
it stays in Nashville's court.
You know, it was Engley and Reckman that took the outside shots, though. So those guys, the 2 guys that we said would have to step up, did. Ball just did not go in the hole for him.
It looked pretty good when it left his hand, and now you don't want that interior pass like that get away, and it does. Oh, and Darren Lee can't believe it, and now they've got numbers, but they're going to hold it up and pull it back wisely. Rundy will go to the bench and talk it over with his teammates, leading 38-31, 61 ticks left, and the only undefeated team in Class A on the precipice of falling in the quarterfinals, but a lot of time left, Roger.
Well, there's one number on here that I want to correct. T-Town is out of timeouts and just got corrected. That is huge right now. Not getting the ball in bounds could be a factor right here, but T-Town is talking about salting it away. They're going to try to keep the ball in the hands of Custer and Rundy, 12 and 24. I can guarantee you right now, this is what Coach Crawford's talking about.
And of course,
our passes, okay? Meet your passes. You got to cut. They've got to gamble. They've got to gamble. You got to go out and get the basketball. Go out and get the ball. Go out and get it. Meet your passes. Lucas and Ryan down here. Now, don't gamble. Don't gamble. Take care of the middle.
I guarantee you, when Coach Crawford was pointing his fingers at some of his T-Town guys to go get the ball, he was pointing at number 12, Wade Custer, and number 24, Jason Rundy. That's who he had his finger in the face. You go get that basketball.
He said at least 4 passes. They have to gamble. You don't. Make good passes, and the key here, a basic. Come to the basketball, Roger. Come to the basketball. Don't be lazy and let the ball come to you.
Rundy with the ball to Custer.
They're trying to pinch him, and they get it, and it's almost an over and back, and he saves it somehow. Here's another dangerous pass. They've got numbers in close, but they're backing it up. They don't want to be out there, and there's the foul on O'Rear.
His fourth.
And to the line goes Rundy.
His 4th. And you could see Tipton just held the ball for just a matter of seconds. They wanted to get the ball back to the 2 guys who are the leading free throw shooters, 77%. Now, one thing that's going to happen here, if Nashville gets a quick basket, they still have 2 timeouts left, and I would guarantee you that Coach Lee's going to use one if they make a bucket.
And remember, this is the age of the 3. Things can close in a hurry, but this free throw will not go for Rundy, and so if he makes this one, T-Town's still only down by those 3 we were talking about.
I still think they look for the two-point shot, Jim, whether he makes it or misses it. I think Nashville would be real happy to cut it to 1 point and get the clock stopped.
And he's got his three-point marksman in there as Morris and Keller come out. It is a three-point game.
Now you can take this to the bank. If Nashville scores, they'll get a quick timeout. It'll be a 1 point game.
And here's a foul out front as O'Rear gets contested by Wade Custer.
Now in the back of an All-Stater's mind, he still has to be thinking he's missed his last 3 free throws.
And I don't really think that's a bad play, to tell you the truth, although we'll have to see how it ends up. But force him to the free throw line early. Don't let him get a chance for a three, and don't let O'Rear post up low. But you see the young man's production. He's headed to Northern Iowa, but will he have stories to tell about playing on the final day of the Class A season?
Well, you just saw a picture of Coach Darren Lee, and what a wonderful job he's done this year. He's been the Coach of the Year in anybody's polls. And, you know, we talk about Coach Crawford. Darren has won 20-plus games 13 times. Tremendous coach.
Number 1 trails by 3, and they still do as O'Rear misses his 4th straight free throw.
And O'Rear's got 4, Jim. He cannot foul. He's got 4 fouls.
And a whistle and a foul in the backcourt, and to the free throw line will go Wade Custer, who shoots 77% on the year. T-Town starting since what will be described as an upset, even though they're rated number 5 and Nashville number 1. But both these teams come from storied histories, and they're both classic defensive teams. You see Brandon Reckman with the agony.
Yeah, he did a great job today, Reckman did. But again, Nashville, a big number, has 2 timeouts left. So even if T-Town makes both of these, Nashville can get the clock stopped if they score. Now Custer's the man you want on the line. He's 3 for 5 today, has 17 points. He hasn't been afraid to take the tough shot.
Custer and Borys have carried the offensive load. Custer was 17, Borys was 16. 33 of their team's 39 points.
And you got the team that's hard to guard for T-Town on the floor. 4 perimeter players plus Lucas O'Rear. These T-Town kids mirror their coach, just tough, hard-nosed. You get them in a tight game, and it's tough to beat them.
Ken Crawford trying to win his 2nd state championship.
Plenty of time, Jim. There's plenty of time left.
They need to score 2 or 3, either way. Ooh, Weathers almost lost it. Pelchinski, no! Tipped up off the high arc there, and it still belongs to Nashville. It went off the game clock up there, Roger. So with 21 seconds left.
They're going to look inside to O'Rear right now. They're going to have to get it into him.
They don't.
They have to force feed it.
They do, and that'll be easy.
Timeout.
Just let him go. Timeout. With 16 seconds remaining, it's down to a 3-point game, and they just backed off. They didn't want to give him a chance for 3, and they burned the timeout, and now you try for the steal.
Now, Jim, one thing I'm going to do if I'm Coach Crawford, I'm going to see who O'Rear's guarding, because he's got 4 fouls. You're going to get 2 shots anyway. O'Rear cannot foul you, and that would hesitate. If someone has to come in and foul, it would make a hesitation of 2 or 3 counts. So 41-38. I would say probably Tipton might be one of the guys that you'll be looking at to get the ball in bounds to.
And the other factor is T-Town, if they get fouled, they still have to make the front end. There's going to be a lot of pressure there.
T-Town's they're in a 2-shot foul situation.
Correct.
But T-Town's got to get the ball in bounds, Jim. They have no timeout, so you can bet your bottom dollar that Nashville is going and trying to deny every play.
You're right, Roger. I was looking at the other side of the scoreboard. Of course, 10 team fouls for Nashville right now, only 9 for T-Town. The quarterfinal game, of course, saw Maroa Forsyth. Man, what a story there with their All-Stater. An emergency appendectomy on Sunday, misses the Super Sectional and come back to play today and help his team win easily over West Carroll, 64-36. So one of these 2 teams playing Maroa Forsyth tomorrow at 11.
All right, now Westendorf is being guarded by O'Rear. I might want to get the ball back to Westendorf because O'Rear cannot foul.
Westendorf with a big inbounds. He does so, and they give it easily enough to Wade Custer, and that's the man who you really want at the free throw line.
One thing that T-Town cannot do now is foul on this 2nd free throw. They've got to just make sure they go straight up or not go up at all, because you do not want Nashville to come down with time not running off the clock and get a free throw.
All right.
I'm just fascinated that Rundy has no field goals in this basketball game. but he's played a huge role in this potential victory.
A guy who averages 20. This free throw is no good. He'll really need this one. Oh.
All right, you have Pelchinski, you have England, you have
Matt Connor
Morris.
just checking out.
Yeah, you got guys that can score.
This will set the table. He got it. Oh, he got about every inch of that rim.
They need 2. They don't need 3.
O'Rear down the lane, missed it. T-Town's going to win this game, folks. They're going back to the free throw line with 7 seconds left. And one more free throw, well, maybe even not a free throw will do it.
I'll tell you what, I'm not a fan of, I'm not a cheering fan of either team. I'm a fan of both teams. I really feel for this Nashville team because they have had such pressure on them all year long, holding up that #1 ranking, undefeated all season long, had a great win against Pinckneyville in the sectional final, and you see a bench right now that's sensing it may be over.
You saw a quick shot of Brad Weathers there, one of the assistants, of course, his son playing. But he knows what it's like to work for a state championship because he won one with Carlisle. Now, of course, he's a principal, but here we go.
It's not over. I mean, right now, the worst it could be is 43-38, and Nashville can get a timeout after a made basket. It's not over.
5-point lead. They're going to have to score in a hurry with 6 seconds. 3. This one's got to go. It doesn't. The follow will not go, and this game is over. It's over. T-Town has knocked off #1. 43-38. You know what, Roger? I think it all started in that first quarter. Obviously, Nashville came back, but they built that 15-5 lead, and that was the cushion.
I'll tell you what, and T-Town followed Coach Crawford's game plan to a perfect tee. We talked about in the pregame as far as one of the keys, KC the Sage, and T-Town's game plan was followed 100%, and that's why they're playing tomorrow.
And our hearts, I echo your sentiments. They go out to Nashville. What a great run, 33-0, trying to become the 6th team to win as an undefeated state champion. Ken Crawford is going to be a pretty happy man as he stands by with Sarah. We're going to go out there in a second. The final was 43-38. The first one was a blowout. The second one, a nail-biter. And let me tell you, as Ken runs off the court, I don't know where he's going, but he's getting a hug from somebody.
One other thing I noticed there, Jim, as they came off the floor, is the team shook hands. They didn't do this slapping hands that you see so much in high school basketball. They knew it was a tremendous, hard-fought game, and they shook each other's hands.
Well, there's a lot of smiles out there, and Sarah's got them both, the player of the game and the winning coach. Sarah, fire away.
I sure do. Coach, 13 second chance points to substantially win the battle of the backboards. How critical was that in this game?
It was very critical. You know, hey, my kid just came in and gutted out. This young man played a great ball game. The kids stuck with the game plan. They beat a great team that beat us 14 earlier. You know, I just thank God that I've been in this position, and these boys have put me here. I think you need to talk more to him than to me. Those are the stars, not me.
One more question for you. You want to celebrate, but you got to look ahead to tomorrow morning's game against Moreau Forsyth. What are some of the keys tomorrow?
We're not going to spend much time celebrating, I'll tell you that right now. We've got to get ready for Moreau. They're a good team. They're quick as a cat. They've got great players. Played a nice ball game today. We just got to get in. You know, I heard a great coach one time said, you know, to be in position, you got to get in position. Well, we got in position. Now we just got to get the job done.
Wade Custer, Country Insurance Player of the Game, 20 points tonight. Talk to me about you and your team's composure down the stretch.
Well, like, I don't know. Coach told us to keep our composure. We couldn't get out there and turn it over. Like, we had to knock down some free throws too. I mean, it was tough. Oh, Gardner Rear, I mean, he's a tough guy. He's big. He's tough.
Andy Tipton's job on Lucas O'Rear was phenomenal today, and he got great weak side help from everybody. Everybody just did their job.
Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
Back to you.
It's done. 2 are in. We're back after this network break on the IHSA Television Network.